there is a conflict, and we need to be very transparent about it. There is a conflict between healthcare approach and staff and hospitality/wellness approach and staff. Who is in the lead? Healthcare tends to dominate properties and programming. And soon after, we talk about patients. And we have a conflict between professionals, trained professionals, certified professionals, saying that one healthcare person says that you are not in the same league with me because I have a medical degree from this and this university, and you are only a wellness professional, although certified and trained and experienced. But sorry, I have the priority here in terms of saying what's happening because I am actually having a, let's say, university degree and I am a physician. So there is a conflict in situations like that. Who is defining? So that really the answer to your question. Talking to operators or talking to developers, I think the best is to understand your opportunities. That although from the developer's perspective, I want to do something which is more than just the voluntary wellness programming. Therefore, I want to be more conscious and more structured and more result-driven, if you may, or outcome-driven. And you consider medical wellness, and then you would need to look into how many options I have in the physical part and all the rest of it. And then you may put above the door a totally different branding message, like the ones that used to call itself a health spa. Shah calls itself as a wellness clinic. You don't see medical, in the programming you see medical wellness, but not in the communication necessarily. Mm. So literally, obviously, the 2 or 3 locations in Czech Republic, the Mariánské Lázně and the Karlovy Varys, the Vrnjačka Banja in Serbia, the Heavies in Hungary, and the Studia in Pärnu, who's been serving Norwegian, Finnish, Russian guests on a 2-3 week packages, all medically driven wellness as well as health supporting programming. So these facilities really have the history and the knowledge of the market. Don't forget, these are not the high-end markets, most of them. They are more like mid-range, upper mid-range markets in terms of how much they can pay for it and what the services are priced at. And that's what, in a way, is missing from the US as such, or North America. In Central America, the affordable, the termalismo social, which I'm sure translates very well to French, that's something that's been for decades. So accessible wellness, if you wish, and that often is programmed by a healthcare professional. I think that's a major difference between how the accessible wellness programming is available in, let's say, Central Eastern Europe and Southern Europe to certain parts, and Western Europe, North America, and Asia. So it's not necessarily privately financed, or if it was financed privately, then it's more affordable. And I think we can learn from both. I believe to answer your question, we have to have one more parameter here: who you want to offer it to.
Yes, the guests.
Obviously, that's a cliche, but what I want to say by this is that if you are in the Middle East, you may have different issues in terms of population, healthcare problems, obesity, having issues with orthopedics. And for those two dominate the discussions, and diabetes. Let's say that's the 3. Those are dominating. So anything you want to create, which is relevant to the local market, more like regional market, would somehow shift around all these 3 modalities or 3 issues. And obviously, if you could address or tackle obesity, then you can directly have an impact on orthopedics, because one is not independent from the other. Or diabetes, so all the whole things can come together and then can become a lifestyle thing, and then you can add some mental aspects to it as well, because then you have to give up a lot of things and it can be difficult, and body image issues and all that. Let's say that's Middle East. If you go to the Far East, it can very much define by aesthetics. And of course, the K beauty, the J beauty, and the C beauty, and all the battle between who is better and who is doing what and what the treatments are and all that. It's very beauty defined. So the IV, for example, can be a very popular thing because it adds the vitamins, the minerals to your skin, and you can see it glowing. And depending where you are, you can always find the actual niche or niches or focuses. Orthopedics has always been a hot topic anywhere you go, from Miami to Dubai. Doesn't matter where you are, because that's critical. And I think what is not orthopedics that you sell, but you sell painless movements. That's what you sell, not orthopedics. No one cares about orthopedics. You care about, I want to decrease my pain load and I want to move about way easier. Done. This is what you're selling. And then you can add on anything. If it's natural treatments, it's going to be Chinese treatment, it's going to be pills, is it going to be diet, is it going to be losing weight, whatever. That's the North American approach to it, that I include anything and everything. My objective is you lose pain level by 50% by the end of the third week. This is the objective. Whereas in Asia, it's like, oh, is my skin tight enough, or do I look nicer? Or in Middle East, it's more like, oh, well, I need to lose 20 kilos. But from the movements perspective, not the losing weights perspective, I want to walk about easier. Therefore, I need to do something with diabetes, need to do about weight, need to do about all the rest of it. So it's very, very particular. And that's why medical wellness as such is a good answer to all these particular needs. This is not just, oh, I'm opening a new wellness unit into a hotel, because the market may not want to have a wellness unit next to your hotel. They want to have solutions, and the more structured approach to it can actually provide that. I think that's what medical wellness can do in a way, because if wellness professionals learn reasons, methods, tools, whatever those things are, from the healthcare staff, and they incorporate it into the more mainstream wellness propositioning, then we already access more people. But that's time, because, sorry, just the education is that you have medical schools where they don't have wellness programming as part of the curriculum. You have medical schools where they don't have evidence-based medicine. You have medical schools where they don't do even any understanding of what, let's say, spa evidence is, and so on. So we don't necessarily help enough, more like. We have examples, of course, but they don't necessarily enabling this joining forces issue, not yet. Or could be a better job. I'm sitting in the Medical Wellness Association in the US, and also in the Climatology Association, the International Climatology Association, Tourism Committee. And you can see all these discussions going on. And I think the beauty of talking about medical wellness, that you can bring everybody in. Climatologist, an orthopedic specialist, a bioneurotherapists for the matter, or a traditional Chinese medicine specialist, a doctor, Ayurvedic doctor. And you can create that DNA, what, in terms of developers we're talking about now, that can define you. You're just not just, and this is the moment when I think developers really need to make this note, if nothing else. Talking to hotel advisors is not going to work. just a standalone hotel advisors, they don't understand healthcare, they don't understand wellness programming. They know urban hotels, 120 rooms. They understand resort hotels, 160 rooms, with some spa on the side. You need to have teams. So whoever you're going to contract, make sure that you have specialists involved. Otherwise, you can jump on bandwagons, you can be led by a fashion streak, which may fade in 2 years' time, and then you invested a lot of space, concrete, technology into something that may or may not work. Medical wellness is a teamwork with healthcare professionals, wellness professionals, hospitality professionals come together and create that programming. I prefer to call UVP, which is unique value propositioning.
Okay, brilliant.
That's what it is. What your added value is, tell me, or I'm happy to help you to define it or look for one. But don't talk to me about sales propositioning because that's generic. I don't care. Talk about values, and then you will find your actually fitting market as well, who would appreciate that value. Don't forget, people actually buy values and not services.